The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How could we know for sure? Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Tabletop Turntable, where we spin new games, new tracks. My name is Keaton. I'm the GM for this track. It is our last episode of Delta Green, and I'm very excited to get into this. Yeah, I'm sure everything's going to be fine for everyone, and it's going to be a happy ending, because that's its kind of game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
for
play
sure.
horror on purpose.
Yeah. Real quick, let's do a quick recap of who you all are. Meg, who are you?
Hi, I'm Margaret Alice. They call me Meg. You can too. I'm one of Grimstone's people. You know who I am.
James, who are you?
I'm James. I'm playing Lucas Brandt, who's
Oh,
about
that.
to have... Yeah,
That's
did you
what
want...
I should have said.
Do you want to go back and say who your character is, Meg?
Yeah. I'm playing Sappy Conroy, who has discernibly no skills that are helpful. She just fakes it until she makes it, knowing a lot of stuff.
For sure.
Okay, I'm James. I'm playing Lucas Brandt, who's about to have a close encounter of the goop kind, where his talking skills will avail him not at all.
Nope.
Been sitting on that for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Colin, who are you?
I'm Colin. I'm playing Major Michael Royschel Mitterwald, who's a military surgeon.
Lieutenant Green Beret, retired. Prior to that, Rangers, contractor, carpenter, occasional agent for Delta Green, tends to shoot first, ask questions later.
Yep.
Unless
this is kind of your style.
A diplomat who says otherwise. All right, we'll try it your way. I'll shoot stuff later.
So, the briefest of recaps for those who came in late. You guys are in Seattle. You're investigating a weird murder case that is going on that seems to be goop related. You've followed a lot of different tracks, eventually finding some birds that had mutated, expertly shooting them to death. And while examining them and a body from the murder scene, you found that essentially this goop is a living thing to some extent. It's sensitive to ultraviolet light, and you were able to kill the thing that initially awoke in the morgue.
It was basically a zombie.
Yeah, just a gross old zombie.
Basically.
From there, you guys essentially are looking for whatever you assume is in the immediate area of that neighborhood, because you're assuming it's still around, especially based on some missing pets in the area. As well as going to need to eventually head out to a crashed plane, which you can only assume is also due to this situation. We got a good amount of ground to cover, lots of things to do. And specifically, two of you found one of our little goop puddles behind the steering wheel of a car, where we left off last.
Good. And I do want to make clear, all references to goop are not references to Gwyneth Paltrow's lifestyle brand. Please don't sue us. Thank you.
But they could be.
We don't know for sure.
I suppose that's true.
Just saying. But before we jump into everything with you, we're going to cut over to Michael, who is kind of patrolling the streets, probably a couple a couple blocks down from where you guys are at.
Yeah, he's kind of walking around. He heard this glass, this crashing noise, couldn't really follow it. And then just wanders around with this UVB, is that what it is? Ultraviolet B, flashlight. And after a while, he kind of, guard down a little bit, not finding anything, and he's going to make a phone call. He's going to call Dana, which is the woman who is his high school sweetheart, who he's kind of been in a non-physical, like texting and calling relationship with since he and his wife have been separated. And he kind of, looks down, calls this number, and calls Dana.
Yeah, so it rings for a second, and then like it picks up like after a ring, and then you just hear like, "I need a second," and it's quiet for probably about 20, 30 seconds. And then she's like, Mike, how are you?
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to call and just talk, see how things are going. What's Nick doing right now? It seems like he had to leave the room.
He's watching the game. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah. Well, I got the app. I have the app, and it says that at this time you're 5 months in. It says the baby's the size of a bell pepper now. I thought that was funny to see. It gives you the option, and one of them is vegetables, fruits and vegetables, and it says the baby's the size of a banana or a bell pepper right now.
He's like, banana or bell pepper, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And
Solid
she kind
game
of like,
and he says, so, have you talked to Nick at all about, separation or trial separation, something, what we talked about?
Yeah, I've and you can hear like she's like kind of feeling more and more like she's catching herself every time she starts this. I think that it might just like he's really like stressed with work right now. I think maybe right now is not the right time to talk to him. But I mean it. I'm really thinking about it, obviously.
No, yeah, I understand. When Amy and I split up, it wasn't easy for either of us. So I understand. It's hard. It's always hard to leave something, especially when, But if you're worried about, who's gonna help you and, help raise the child, I'll be there. Have you found out? Do you know the if it's gonna be a little boy or a little girl yet?
I don't know. I don't think I can. I think I need to go back inside, Mike. I promise I'll call you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Call me. I'm just up here in Seattle. I'll be waiting for your call.
Yeah. I promise I'll call the first chance I get.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Click.
Shuts off his phone, puts it back in his pocket. Pulls out that UVB flashlight.
You said non-physical relationship, right?
Yes.
Just checking.
Yes, it's text and phone calls and Facebook conversations.
Not even once, like 5 months ago. Okay.
No.
I don't know, just a crazy idea like 5 months ago.
Don't know where you'd pull that from.
so yeah, then he picks up the UVB flashlight and continues walking around.
Woof.
Perfect. As you do, you are pretty sure you hear something in the distance as we cut back to Marco and Lucas staring in at this like mass of hands and like stretched blue skin as it's like gripping the steering wheel, revving on the engine. And both of you need to make a sanity check.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was coming.
This thing can drive?
Oh yeah.
I'm totally making a sanity check.
I mean, if you got enough hands and feet, you could probably do just about anything.
Like the idea of for Marco, the sanity check is like it can drive.
It could
Aha.
probably drive as good as the average person on 15501.
That's a
Yeah, that's
24 against 60.
And I'm
24
25 under 75.
Okay. So both of you succeed, but you're still going to take 1 point of sanity damage.
Got it. Now, how about Marco? Is Marco going to take sanity damage too?
Yep.
So remind me, if my sanity points drop below my breaking point, that's bad, yes?
Yes.
Okay. We're not there yet.
Okay. I was like, ooh, you haven't dealt with too much. How did we get here?
My breaking point's 52 and my current sanity is 59, so it's not, doesn't feel like it's that far off if something goes awry.
Don't worry, I promise we'll get you there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think if I remember correctly, you both were walking up on the sides of the car, kind of like splayed at like a little bit of distance between you and the car.
Yep.
How far would you say you are from the car?
I'm like only maybe 12 feet away.
Okay.
I would be the same since I was mirroring his movements.
So you see like eyes on either side, like looking over at you.
Oh, like a hammerhead shark kind of deal?
Yeah, like kind of like you see these eyes kind of like poking around and staring, and then you hear it just hit the gas and just start driving like erratically down this street.
Is it slow enough that Marco would imagine being able to chase after it on foot?
It's probably starting off a little slow, but it's gaining pretty quickly. Seems that it is firmly on the gas.
All right, so Marco would be, let's go, and start sprinting back to where they parked the car.
Lucas follows.
Sweet.
And I'll approach the car and make that sort of slide over the hood to get over to the driver's side, and pop in. Barely wait for Lucas to get in the cars. I'm starting to peel away. He's kind of like, getting his jacket maybe caught in the doors. He's trying
the door's not even closed yet. I'm just like trying to close it as the cars are going.
Perfect. Sappy and Michael, give me an awareness check or alertness.
The wheels were definitely squealing on that one.
73 over 40 fail.
Okay.
Do we have any sort of radio communication, or is it just cell phones?
I think it's just cell phones.
Okay. While Marco's driving, I'm gonna pull out my phone and I guess call Safi, since she seems to have it more together than Michael from the last time we saw him.
That seems like a reasonable take. While this is happening, Marco, can you make a drive check for me?
I am 11 under 40.
Nice.
Okay. So like this car is absolutely like it's going fast, but you are keeping right up behind it. Like this is just Tuesday for you. But yeah, so it's trying to clearly evade you to some extent, but you are right on it the entire time.
All right,
Lucas.
Yeah, so I'll ring up Safi.
Hello.
We've got eyes on something that's driving away from us.
Oh, wonderful. Shoot it.
It's in a car. It's driving. I don't know that I mean, I guess we could try something cool like shoot out the tires, but I just
That's a
thought you guys
start.
might want to be aware. Can you track this phone?
I don't know. Can I? Is that a thing that that my technology can do?
Lucas makes
I
sure
mean,
to
like,
turn my
are you
or
sharing
track my
your
iPhone
emoji?
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop a pen or something. What is it the kids say?
Yeah. Just find us quickly. We're gonna need
I mean,
gonna need
sure,
backup.
but I only have feet, so don't count on me getting there soon enough. Take care of it.
Well, are you with Michael?
No, we all walked in different directions.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep on pursuit. You
I'll text him
find
though and let him know we're following the pen. Yeah.
Yeah, texting. That's
Mhm.
great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that
Good
Afterwards,
luck, smiley face.
just gets a big old thumbs up emoji. Right.
Can I try and do some cool action movie stuff and try and shoot out the tires?
Sure.
Cool. This is gonna go horribly.
For what it's worth, Sappy will start to try to head that way, and she absolutely did text Mike and let him know too. But again, we are on feet, so I don't know how depending on where you're going, how quickly we can get to you.
All right, so this is a very silly question. When there is a skill that's got a percentage in parentheses next to it, that would be the baseline if you didn't have any points in it, right? You wouldn't
Correct.
add that to whatever points you have. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's like the basic human assumption that you exist.
Great. All right. So I would presume this is a firearms check.
Yep.
All right. So Lucas is not particularly proficient in firearms. Nevertheless, he's leaning out the car window and just, oh boy, and we'll see what happens. That's a 20 under 30.
Okay.
Well done.
Look at you go.
Look
All
at me.
right, so you're trying to shoot out a tire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you take out the passenger rear tire, and as you see it kind of explode, you see the car kind of spin out. You guys are kind of on an exit ramp going onto a highway. As you see this car just completely spin out.
And I just look over at Marco and say, that is the coolest thing I have ever done.
Good shooting, John Wayne. Hold on here, and Marco will sort of T-bone the car as it's swerving out of the way, and be pushing it off onto the shoulder or up onto a ramp to try and make sure that it's immobilized.
Oh man, how violent of an impact is that?
I would want it to be I wouldn't want to crash the car into it, but it's come up to it and then push the other car with my car.
Just enough to pin it.
Yeah.
Is it enough to deploy the airbags? How fast are we going?
Also, did Coach just graduate to a new nickname?
It sounds like it.
Ooh. So, make a drive check for me.
23 under 40.
Nice.
Nice, we're killing it so far.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not yet.
also, well, not yet. But kind of, because I want you to roll a d6.
Is that a little bit of
5.
damage?
Yeah, so as you kind of ram into the side of it to push it off, you see the airbags deploy. Yeah, and you see this thing slowly slinking over towards the passenger window and then up onto the hood of your guy's car, moving towards the windshield.
I will draw and shoot.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I imagine I would do the same.
Perfect. So we are in combat. So what's everyone's dex? Real quick.
The score or the ×5?
Just the score.
13.
9.
Okay.
I do have
Yeah.
the distinguishing feature of creaky knees. I want to be clear.
Oh, perfect. Sweet. So, Marco, you go first.
All right. How many shots can I take?
What do you have?
Handgun.
Handgun, you can take 1 shot.
44 under 80.
Oh wow.
Okay.
It's my
That's
second
a crit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So D10 on the damage. 5 again.
5. Okay, and I think that's double damage when you crit. So,
Should I roll twice or double?
I'll let you choose.
Let's double it. Make it 10.
All right, make it 10. Yeah, so your bullet rips right into the heart of this thing. You see it almost split slightly as these strands slowly are trying to pull it back together. So it's this thing's turn, and you see it reach out with 2 of its arms to the sides of where the windshield are, and just full force bring itself right into the windshield, and you see it crack and break in towards you guys. And you can see as parts of this blue blood get onto it, you can see the glass melting and cracking around it.
Not good.
So Lucas, what's the vibe?
Lucas is immediately going to try and get out of the car.
Okay.
Do I need to make any sort of check for that, or?
I would let you get out of the car for free.
Okay.
That's a fun phrase.
Lucas scrambles out of the car and drops to the ground and rolls. And then in his everything he's ever seen in an action movie, he stops his roll on one knee and brings the gun up.
Yep.
Am I able to fire?
Yeah, do it.
All right, let's go. Oh heck no. That's a 99.
No!
That is an absolute failure.
Sweet. So as you pull the trigger, you hear something click, and just it jams.
Oh.
And you have this moment of you had a moment where you were on top of the world, and then now you feel like you are in the worst position you could possibly be.
Uh-oh.
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 So by this point, I'm going to say Safi and Michael. And did you guys get Dr. Kane as well, or are you just kind of leaving her behind?
That's a great question. I suppose I'll text her too, because she did end up committing to helping, so that's the objective. I'll let her know where the objective has been updated. So
Meg, are you so glad that Keaton asked that question?
I'm so glad you asked. Not wearing that shirt today.
So I'm going to say that you two get to the car before her. So you have a decision moment of, are you going to wait for her, or are you just going to book it?
I think I'm going for it. I think I'm just running flat out.
She didn't want to be helping already anyway, so I think I'm going to jump as well.
Sweet. Who's driving?
I've got a 20.
That is also what I have, but I managed just fine the first time.
Yeah. Want to make a drive check?
Yeah, why not?
Woo!
Nope, that's 70. I don't like this car.
This car's a bad car.
It's a bad car.
Okay.
It's probably American.
So, yeah. You're on the wrong side of the street, and you're like, what's going on? But yeah, so it's going to take you a couple turns to get to them. But I have a timer for y'all.
Okay.
Marco, it's round 2. You can see this thing's attention is like where you split it in half, like one of the halves seems very focused on you while the other half is turned towards Lucas on the ground outside.
Ew.
All right. I would fire again at the one that seems to be focused on me.
Okay.
45 under 80.
Hell yeah.
6 points of damage.
Let's go. All right. You can see like this thing is like bleeding this like blue blood profusely. But you also see like as soon as these holes are going into it, you see them like starting to close up. It's the thing's turn. And half of it is going to break through that windshield finally fully. So you are fully exposed now, Marco. And the other half is going to reach out to our good friend Lucas on the ground.
Well, that seems unfair.
I think it feels very right.
Okay.
So, Lucas, you can give me a dodge if you want.
Sure. No, that's a fail.
Okay. Is it a crit fail?
It's a 67 as against 30.
Okay, so you're fine.
Okay.
But you're not fine because this thing reaches out and okay, yeah. So first, this thing reaches out and like lashes at you. So you feel like this like hand with these like sharp fingernails like rake across your skin.
Ow.
Take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
So now I need you to make a very important Constitution ×5 check.
Okie dokie. Good. That's a 25 under 50.
Okay. Yeah, you you might not know it, but you feel like it just grazed you enough that it didn't actually get anything inside of you when it slashed at you.
Phew.
So, now that you know that, Lucas, what's the plan?
Wow. Okay. Stretch Armstrong. I'm gonna back up again. Hopefully outside of this thing's range, in terms of its stretchiness capacity. And I guess I'll try firing again. We never got any of the UV light, because we went to the pet store and they were sold out. So
yep,
we don't have a lot going on.
You can shine your headlights on it still. It'll still might slow it down.
Yeah, if only I was in the car still. Do I have a flashlight? Is that something that we would?
Yeah, you guys had regular flashlights.
I'll just try and, while I'm pointing my gun still at it, I'll try and hold up a regular just flashlight at it, see if that does any effect.
Sure.
Not that wait, we knew about this. Yes, you guys told us about that. So yeah, I'm not just like metagaming.
Nope. You see it's like hand. You see it's like clawed hand like reach up in front of it, but it doesn't seem like there's any like burning or you're not noticing anything obviously happening.
But it seems like it's like kind of blinded briefly.
Yeah, at the very least, it seems like it doesn't like you doing that.
Okay, great. I am concerned about angering it further. All right, I will try. Oh wait, the gun's jammed. So can I unjam it?
Sure. Do you have firearms to some extent?
I have 30 in firearms.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll that to see if you can.
Please don't shoot
unjam.
yourself.
I'm gonna try. No, that's a 96. God.
Shot yourself in the foot. I know it.
Lucas's time in the sun is coming down so quickly. Round 3, Marco. This thing's right in front of you.
Yeah, I think after seeing it start to reform, I think Marco at this point would be trying to bug out, like sort of backflip over the front seat into the back seat and out the back door.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna make you roll for that.
Yeah.
Let's do. Yeah, let's just do your dex times 5.
Okay. 20 under 65.
Nice. Yeah, so Marco is like dodging and weaving through, and you get right out of the car.
And when I'm out of the car, I would be making as much space as I could in the turn that I have to open up distance between myself and it.
Yeah, so you probably get about, let's say, 6-7 feet from the back of the car after weaving out of the back.
Yep, sounds good.
Poor Lucas, directly in this thing's vision. As it's pulling itself together, it launches off the car right towards you. I can't help that you're the obvious one right there.
Okay. Well, I'm still shining the flashlight at it, so hopefully that helps.
That's true.
So now,
roll some dodge.
Exasperatedly sighing. Haha! 21 against 30. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's going to give it a negative when it tries to roll on you. Ooh, not enough of a negative. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, you take 2 points of damage as you feel this thing like scrape against your back as you're moving out of its way. And roll that Constitution check for me.
40 against 50.
Okay, you're still good. You're feeling good. Not feeling like there's anything wrong.
So far.
Taffy and Michael in the car, you can see you're probably about a minute away at this point. So you'll be pulling up soon.
Yeah, I got that flashlight ready to go.
Hell yeah. Marco.
I'm gonna turn my brights on.
Nice.
Does Lucas get a chance to go after that dodge? Was he dodging on the critter's turn?
Oh, right. Sorry, Lucas. What are you doing?
Running away.
Okay.
Running away as fast as I can. I guess trying to unjam the gun as I go. Kind of wildly shining the flashlight back behind me. Probably not very effective, but still doing that. So let's try and unjam the gun. No, that's a 59. Getting lower though.
I'd say you're more focused on running in this moment.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get out of Dodge, get away from this thing as much as I can. Put anything that's also on the road in between it and me.
Yeah. Makes sense. You are starting to run into traffic, for sure. As some cars are still flying down this road.
Why can't I just go back down the exit ramp or an entrance ramp? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna run back down the entrance ramp where at least people won't be like zooming down the highway, and I presume my backup will be coming from that direction. So
that is probably where they'd be coming from. Perfect. Yeah. So now, Marco, what's the plan?
I'm going to advance in the other direction. To combine forces with Lucas. So yeah, I'm gonna run too.
Okay, perfect.
Advance in the other direction, not a retreat, mind you.
No.
Never retreat.
Our brave little buddy cop. As you guys kind of boldly move forward away from this thing, eventually you see a car come to a screeching halt, and you see Michael and Safi on the inside.
We'll wave to them, and or at least Marco will wave to them and start sprinting towards the car.
just wildly gesticulating behind me.
Yeah, I mean, if I see that they're coming from a vehicle, my goal is to shine the bright headlights where they were coming from.
Yeah.
Can we see
as
the
you-
creature?
Yeah, as you do, you can see this thing, and especially because, now you have a second, you're not seeing it in the car. Also, Safi and Michael need to roll a sanity check after this. But you can see this thing, and it's probably standing about maybe 4.5 feet tall, as it's this weird, oozing, blob of limbs and just pulsating, you can see almost what looks like bubbles popping and then closing on itself. And as soon as those brights hit it, you see it trying to back away and almost climb over the car to get around, to get out of the light. So give me a sanity check.
I got a 42 under 59.
I got a 29 under 50.
Sweet, both of you take 1.
Okay. Uh-oh.
All right.
So I'm going to take the flashlight in one hand, the gun in the other hand, and I'm going to go towards this thing that's kind of cowering now behind the car. And flashlight, gunshot.
Okay.
Both.
Perfect.
Can I toss my flashlight to Marco?
Yeah, for sure.
I assume he is much faster than me. If you want to help, go.
Yeah, I would grab the flashlight and move to flank the blob on the other side of the major. So it would be approaching essentially from opposite sides.
Perfect. Okay, so go ahead and roll firearms, Michael.
Okay, what is mine? Okay.
Does the addition of the lights help him in any way?
Mm-hmm.
It is a success. 27 under 40.
7 under 40. Perfect. So I want you to roll your weapons damage as well as roll an additional d6.
Okay.
There it is.
15.
Yay!
15. Yeah, you can see this thing hardening and steaming as a bullet rips in and rips off one of the limbs of it that was starting to crystallize. Marco.
Same verse. Flashlight, bang bang.
Nice.
First, same as the first.
I've got a 10 under an 80 for the firearms.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna keep this engine running so we can get to the chopper as soon as you're done.
5 total on the D10 and D6.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so as you guys continue standing, because you can see it's not even it's maybe swinging slightly, but even as its limbs go out, you can see it start to crystallize. As it huddles in on itself, it almost looks pathetic to some extent. It looks like a wild animal panicking. And it just slowly kind of folds in on itself, and you see it just harden and then just crumble right in front of you into dust.
I think Marco would still continue to advance, but almost trying to fry it with the light, even though it's still dust on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sanitize the area.
I approve this.
Yeah.
So anyone from Idaho then?
If you hang out there.
Are there people stopping to look at what's going on?
Yeah, as you guys kind of finish this off, and Safi, you probably notice it first. You can see people kind of slowly pulling off, and they're everything all right over there?
We're fine, just changing a quick tire. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Marco will take a quick look in the car that the blob is driving, make sure there's nobody in there or nothing immediately visible, just taking a quick look inside.
Yep. taking a look inside, you don't see much of anything. It looks like oddly clean.
No more blue goo in there?
Nope.
Okay.
So how do you want to leave this scene? Because are you just leaving two cars kind of crashed into each other and just zooming off? What's the plan?
Well, is the car that we were driving operable or is it wrecked?
I mean, the front is definitely a little fucked, but it's operable.
All right, well, I think we need to drive that one away at the very least. The other one is non-operable, right? So
Where did it come from?
great question. I mean, the blob thing kind of just found it, right? It's not a car that we recognize as matching the description of any of the other people's cars, right?
So it could have
So-
been any teenager out on a joyride.
Yeah.
Sure.
Stolen car situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marco will look around. Actually, Marco will ask Lucas for his jacket. Say, give me your jacket.
Why?
And it says we gotta create a wick for the gas tank. We gotta blow this thing up.
How about I don't think we need to blow the car up. I don't. Unless is there any residue in there that requires?
Do you want to take the chance that there isn't?
Do you want to draw more attention to it if there is? Like, blowing the car up seems wildly unnecessary in this
Meanwhile,
situation.
Safi has like a Lysol wipe.
First of all, State Department salary is not enough for me to give you my jacket. Second of all, I think we need to be less concerned about disposing of this car through explosives than we do need to be getting into Idaho ASAP. And requisitioning as much UVB light as humanly possible.
I'm going to
reasonable.
call the local office, or our handler, I guess, if that's the best person, and let her know that we will have 2 vehicles that will need to be taken care of, and we will need to trade them for more UVB flashlights. So hopefully someone will meet us wherever we're meeting the chopper.
Yeah, not just flashlights, but floodlights if we can get them.
Sure. I'm not sure how I would lug around a floodlight, but...
Anything that would help in terms of creating larger swaths of UVB waves would be helpful at this point.
They've just
So,
already said they're not sending anyone with us, so there's no one but us to set them up.
I understand.
So we're heading back to get to the chopper. Is that correct?
Yes. Unless somebody
All
thinks
right.
otherwise.
As everybody's assembling, this is a little bit of table talk, but I can imagine Marco would have brought it up as well. Wasn't there somebody named Michael who was relevant to all this in the area?
Yes, I do remember that name. I don't remember how though.
Who
that was
is Michael?
in-
It was in the Stakeout Journal.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
About
that's
James's house.
a thread we have not really
Pulled
been able
upon.
to. Yeah.
And we've got no leads here on the private eye, Evelyn Welton.
Correct.
Correct. We also don't have any compelling evidence that we need to be tracking her down immediately versus containing
Yeah.
the situation
Yeah,
in Idaho.
The only thing we determine is that she was monitoring Tybalt Greaves. We
And
don't
that it
know
wasn't an
why.
official investigation. So that
Correct.
might be knowledge. So she might know what he was up to. That might be a loose end that we need to tie up. But I don't think it's more urgent necessarily than Idaho.
No, it may be also somebody else we can pin his death on.
True, because we have
got-
the journal proving that she was literally stalking him and like
Right.
not even on company time.
We've got options
Yeah.
in terms of who we can pin this on. But I think
Yep.
the most important thing is we have got to contain this before it spreads any further.
I still like the stepdad for the Patsy though, because then we free mom too. So
That's fair.
All are great ideas. So, you guys make it back to the FBI office, which is where you were to meet the helicopter. I do want to ask: are we just charging through the night, no rest, or what's the vibe here?
What time is it?
Probably by now it's about 2 a.m.
Okay.
We did talk about this once before, and we had said we were gonna go to bed. Oh no, didn't we say that we could catch some sleep on the flight? Because isn't it gonna be a few hours? So that's the idea at the moment, I think, is to nap. But we gotta hit the ground running if we can, right? Because we don't know we don't want it to get any further from the crash site than it already is.
Yep.
Were we
But
able
we know
to
it
tell...
doesn't.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We know it doesn't travel in the daylight, though, and if it's 2, we wouldn't get there before dawn. So it might be a good time to catch some sleep.
If the sun is up by the time we get there, then I'm all for it. If there's any darkness left when we get there, I would start looking. But
here's the other thing. Were we able to sort of, from our observing of this thing, glean how fast it can travel?
Well, first of all, probably the wildest thing for you all is the fact that this thing can operate a car,
Sure.
So in some ways, its foot travel doesn't matter. If this thing could be getting into a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it
as far as foot travel,
the wilderness of Ohio, who knows if there was any vehicles or anything close by. I think we need to investigate that area, I suppose. The reason I'm asking is it would be helpful to have an idea of what sort of perimeter we need to be searching in terms of how far this thing has escaped from the crash site.
Probably a pretty wide one, you would guess. Because while it did crash into a national forest, it's not so far from a side road that it's not conceivable this thing could have potentially interacted with a vehicle.
Okay.
This would be conversation in the car on the way to the helipad.
Right.
Marco would wonder if there's any way we could get that fancy light installed as a floodlight on the chopper itself.
Yeah.
Safi was thinking the same thing.
Just switch out the bulb, man. That's all they gotta do.
Yeah.
But would at that point become dangerous in any way? I mean, we know that UV rays are harmful. Is it going, at what point is there a point where we should be worried about environmental harm?
It's a good question. That's kind of a personal call for y'all.
I get the feeling nobody else cares.
I got a question about, and sorry if I missed this. The thing that we just killed, did it look like a person?
So, you're seeing all these limbs and things that are kind of protruding. They look like human limbs. It's a human arm there. It's not animalistic in any way.
Did it have a human face? Is it somebody I recognized?
It had eyes, and it doesn't have when I think of face, I think eyes, nose, mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And if it has that, it's too spread out to fully take that in.
Okay, so it was not identifiable. This is this person.
Yeah, that would be a big stretch to the point that I don't think there's any way you'd be able to tell.
Yeah. Okay.
So, not to metagame, but I presume if we were dealing with UVB light, we'd be able to gain some sort of information about it. But ultimately, UVB light, when it's the light that, when exposed to skin, creates vitamin D. So I don't think it's going to cause a bunch of environmental damage.
Great.
Yeah. I mean,
Marco would say, "Oh, thank goodness."
it's what you use in like reptile tanks and stuff like that too. So I think we're okay.
Sweet. So let's cut to you guys at the FBI office. Your handler Rosales is waiting for you, and kind of asks you to catch her up on everything, which I assume you will do.
Sure.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, good. But so do you want to talk to her about like hooking up the UVB searchlight?
First priority would be handheld units, but if possible, yeah, putting a UV on the chopper would be great.
Which I called ahead about hand units, so hopefully they have some.
Yeah, as you get there, she has plenty of flashlights.
Great.
Like you see, like she's got new ones for each of you. She's got packs of batteries. And you can see they're a little more heavy duty. Like they're not, while you guys have had like probably more like the tube that you're holding, like these are like the ones that you hold the handle on top and it's a bigger compartment. She's like, anything larger than this is going to take a little too much time, I think.
Okay. What about affixing a UVB bulb to the helicopter's searchlight?
I can put in a requisition, but it's probably going to be at least 2 days until I can get that fully up.
Well, that seems like it's not going to work.
I mean, you might as well go ahead, just in case. Ideally,
Sure.
we'd have this wrapped up before then, but in case of emergency, don't wait any longer than necessary.
Yeah.
And plus, then we'll have it for next time.
Let's hope not, but yes. I'll go ahead and put in that order, but I would definitely say, as of right now, keep moving forward as you are.
Oh yes, not waiting, just as a backup.
I would be asking Rosales, do we have any night vision?
Great question.
Absolutely. I have night vision equipment for you already on the helicopter.
Wonderful.
Also, I did a speed. I sped up your results on those fingerprints that you were running.
Uh-huh.
1 second while I pull it up for you.
This is from the fingers that were coming out of the crows, right?
That's correct.
Right.
Nothing where I left it.
You're making us wait on purpose, don't lie.
I know. I'm like, you're gonna be so shocked.
The most pregnant of pauses.
Fingerprints came back for a Daniel Uli. He was part of the military until he was killed untimely in the 90s.
What?
Told you it was fucking zombies.
Killed in the 90s.
Oh.
Was he killed? Was he killed like in action?
It looks like he was working with, looks like DARPA on some. I mean, it's all completely blacked out. I wish I could get you more information, but working on some experiments, something seems to have gone wrong. Big payout to his widow.
Was he officially killed in the 90s? Like, was he actually killed in the 90s, or was he still working with DARPA?
That is a great question.
Best I can tell is, 91, he was officially ruled dead.
Okay. And how long had Greaves been working on his own thing? Greaves was with DARPA at some point, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
When was Greaves with DARPA?
Greaves was with DARPA through the late 80s to the early 2000s.
Okay.
Is his widow still alive?
Yes, we went ahead and got you the information. Also, his son. They're both residing at the same address right now in second. It looks like Billings, Montana is where she's at currently.
And what is her name?
Her name is Isabella.
And the son?
And the son's name is Malcolm. Isabella didn't remarry. She looks like with the payout, she ended up buying a house. She works as a dental hygienist. Son recently was divorced and moved back in with her.
In Billings, Montana, how far? This is me, the player. Billings, Montana.
Right.
To where are we in Idaho? Or where are we going in Idaho?
I'll pull it up for you. Clearwater National Forest.
Clearwater National Forest. We should okay. Michael's gonna say like, can we get somebody over there at her house
with UVB flashlights?
All right. Yeah, I'll get somebody over there. I'll get a car stationed outside. You might want to make that your priority.
Getting to her?
To her?
That's all we have to go on as of right now. If you think that these things have some sort of connection to Uli.
Oh, I see. We think it might be him, and that might be where he's headed. Okay.
Yes.
Current working theory.
Okay. To Billings, Montana, it is.
Sweet. And we'll take a 10-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, boy.
What's up? Welcome back. We left off with everybody about to get onto a helicopter, start heading out towards Idaho, and specifically Billings, Montana as well. That's going to be my first question. Do you guys want to go to the crash site, or are you kind of like, fuck it, let's go to Montana?
Man. I mean, all signs seem to point to it being this guy, right? This ooze thing that we're chasing. I mean, we got rid of the one in the neighborhood that was probably Greaves, and we got rid of the one that grew out of Amanda in the lab.
All roads lead to Billings.
It seems that way.
Tell you what, while we're on the copter, is there anybody I can reach out to find out if Greaves and Uli, was it Uli? Is that right?
Yes, Daniel Uli.
Crossed paths at DARPA?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, they clearly crossed paths in his garage.
Just, confirming the trail.
Yeah, roll bureaucracy for me.
Okay. Oh my god. No, it's a 97 as against 70. So no.
So I imagine it kind of goes like this, where you're on the helicopter and you're kind of on your phone and you hear it like buzz as like a different call's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And it says restricted.
Okay. So wait, that's call coming into me?
Yeah, as you're on the phone with these other people asking.
I guess I'll answer the restricted call.
Okay. Is this Brent?
Yes. Who's this?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You're gonna stop looking into this right now.
I think that if you want whatever mess that you all have created to be contained, I need information and answers on this immediately.
Brant, I think you need to understand something. I don't give a shit what you want.
Your
job is to contain. Your job is to contain. You're looking into things that don't matter to your job. And if you keep looking into that, we can make things unpleasant for you. Do you understand?
I certainly don't want things
Yes
unpleasant.
or no, Brant? Do you understand?
Insofar as it's necessary for my job, I understand.
I need a yes, Brant.
Yes, I understand.
Click.
Well, they're certainly not making things any easier for us.
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
if we really think it's this guy, though, probably the best bet is to head to his wife's house, I would guess.
Yeah,
See,
I
that was
would have
my-
liked a little more confirmation from that, but it seems like the best bet at this point.
Yeah, my original thought was like when I was like send somebody over there was like so we don't necessarily have to. We can go to this crash site. But when they said
Make that your priority.
you got to go over there,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like we should probably go over there. Also before he gets on the helicopter, Michael Facebook messages Dana and says and texts, "Hey, I'm about to get on a helicopter. I might not have service for a little while. If you need me, message me on here."
Safi's gonna lean over and say, "She's never gonna leave him."
Excuse me?
Wow.
You see 3 hearts pop up as a message in reply.
See?
That's emotional
good.
manipulation, darling. Take it from a
so-
lesbian.
So we're heading over to Billings, Montana,
Yeah.
and you guys are sleeping on the flight.
Yep.
As much as we can.
Mhm.
Sweet. So as you arrive, because I imagine you probably just sat down in like a local airport or local airfield that's like somewhat close by. And wherever you do, a police escort is there.
Very nice.
Yeah, you're the special agents that we're here to pick up.
Was that a question or a statement?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Question. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So you guys kind of pile in,
Shotgun.
and the cop driving you is like, "Yeah, I'm taking you to 10441 Great Sky Way. It's about 20 minutes from here."
Beautiful. And
Okay.
how far of a drive would you say it was from whatever the name of that park was in Idaho again?
God, yeah, probably. I mean, that's probably at least a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a ways.
All right. So we made it here faster than that, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah, you made good time.
Any, I'm not sure how we would have traveled conspicuously in public transport, but just in case, any nearby train stations or anything that would have made traveling from there to here any faster?
You cut out a little bit, so I missed a little
Yeah.
bit of what you.
Is there any chance that he took a train of some kind?
Train? I don't believe so.
Great. Just trying to get an idea of what we're looking at time-wise.
Yeah. We were curious because we weren't given a description of who we're supposed to be keeping an eye out for. Do you have a?
Oh, you'll know, darling.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right.
Less you know, the better. Honestly.
I appreciate that. I guess, but
It is for your own safety.
all right. So it's a pretty quiet drive, probably from here on.
We'll let you know how you can help. We'll call you.
out of curiosity, are we in any way able to get like a file photograph of Uli?
Yeah, you get
Without
photograph.
pinging somebody who's already on your ass?
Yeah, I mean, I just want. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're. If I'm looking into just are they mad that I'm? Well, I guess I don't know if they're mad if I was looking into Uli
Right.
generally, or just if I was looking into this cross-referencing, but I'd like to at least be able to get a file photo of him if at all possible. I'll run that
I would
risk.
say you probably there was like his military photo with
Sure.
his file when they were showing you who
Right.
he was.
Okay. Probably not a great photo considering it's probably from late 80s.
Yeah.
So
It's not great, but
better than nothing.
better than nothing.
Also,
So after
keep in mind he may look like goo now. So.
I get the sense he's probably trying to reform. I mean, if his
Oh,
fingers
you think all of his different pieces, that he's somehow like a more mature version, and that he's got a bunch of just separate parts that are trying to find each other? That's what you think is happening?
I'm not sure, but if it's his fingerprints that were coming out of the bird, what we saw in the car had hands and feet and eyes, if not the correct number of them. Who knows? I mean, we know that there were footprints coming out of the laboratory, right? So I would assume that if he's trying to return to his wife and son, I don't suppose he wants to return as a pile of goop, assuming he's capable of sentient thought, which unclear at this point.
Well, we better hope he is for our sake, since that's where we are.
So here's a question, because obviously since you went to Billings, it's daylight by the time you got here. Do you want to go straight to that house, or do you guys want to try and like actually sleep for a little while?
I think we gotta stake out the house, because just because the babies can't walk in daylight does not mean this more mature guy cannot. And if he's that determined to get to his family, I think we start the stakeout immediately and we take turns napping in the car.
Yeah, and I think at least one person should, like, probably not scare the family immediately, but like
Right.
one person
Stake
be
out
like
the house.
representative kind of thing.
Sure.
I don't even know that we need to touch base with them necessarily just yet.
Well,
because
I
what
think
make sure
if
they're
trying to
alive.
help?
I think
Well,
we need to
suppose
talk
that's
to them
true.
and make sure there hasn't been some sort of unfortunate reunion as well.
Okay.
So who wants to make contact?
I'm gonna assume
Have
that's
at it,
probably-
Mr. Diplomat.
assume that's gonna probably be me.
Go get him, coach.
Okay. All right. Lucas will, assuming we're at the house now, Lucas will walk up to the front door, try and shake off whatever exhaustion he's currently suffering from. A lot of this, rubbing his eyes at the bridge of his nose, and ring the doorbell.
Perfect. Yeah, a younger man comes up to the door, and he's like, "Hi, can I help you?"
Are you Malcolm?
Yes. Can I ask who you are?
Sure. And I flash the badge, and Special Agent Lucas Brandt with the FBI. Can I come in?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was just getting ready for work. Come on in.
Is your mom home?
Yeah, she's getting ready upstairs. Is everything all right? Do you need me to get her?
It would probably be helpful.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I just made some coffee. Feel free to help yourself.
That would be marvelous. I would love some.
Around the house.
Yeah, while he goes upstairs, I'll thank you for the game. I'll see what, just make a quick sort of observation of the house. I'll pour myself some coffee, but try and like keep my eyes open for anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, as you kind of like eye around, as you hear like footsteps and some talking upstairs, you see a photo of a man in uniform with a pregnant woman.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
And then just some random photos of woman and child, and like child getting older, some graduation photos.
Does the photo of the man in uniform match the file photo for Uli?
Yep.
Okay.
But eventually, two people come down, Malcolm and Isabella. Isabella has her like hair back. She's like a very put together person as she comes up and is like, I was told you're with the FBI. My name's Isabella Uli. Can I help you in some way? Is something wrong?
Just a couple of routine questions. Nothing strange has happened here. You haven't had any strange visitors or anything in the last 48 hours, have you?
No, not at all.
Okay. Can I ask you a couple of questions about your husband?
You can see like she like almost takes a second and then like reels from it and is like, sure, yeah, of course.
Do you know what he was? So he was a military man, but do you know what department he was involved with?
He really didn't tell me much. It
Have
was
you ever,
top secret stuff as far as I knew.
have you ever heard of the Advanced Research Projects Department of the Military?
Uh, of course I've heard from it, but that's not anything I know with Daniel.
Did he ever talk much about work with you?
No, he very much compartmentalized his life. Um, we didn't talk much about it.
So just to be clear, you never heard the name Tybalt Greaves come up in any conversation about work?
I mean, we're talking about over 30 years ago, so I it's hard for me to say. It doesn't stick out. It doesn't ring a bell.
I understand, and I'm sorry to bring this up, sort of out of the blue, ma'am. Uh, we're investigating some issues with Mr. Greaves, and we have reason to believe that your husband worked with him at DARPA back in the late 80s, early 90s. Just any information that you might have with regard to that would be extremely helpful. If you don't have any, I completely understand.
I wish I did, genuinely. I wish I could help. Um,
When,
I want to help you, but I really don't have anything I could offer.
what kind of funeral did Mr. Uli have?
Um, you can see like she kind of like gets choked up as if this happened recently. But she's like, there wasn't a body as far as I knew. It was we buried a casket, but yeah,
Understand. And they never gave you a cause of death, I'm presuming.
no, it was all classified.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. There may be some danger to you and your son. Uh, I've got a team that's going to be keeping an eye on your residence. We're not going to intrude any. You all go on about your business, live your lives. But if you see a car parked outside, bear in mind we're just watching the residence to make sure nothing happens. Just
Yeah,
trying to keep you all safe.
of course. Is this connected to Daniel in some way?
I don't have enough evidence, and I really can't comment on a pending investigation. But if anything comes up that I can reveal to you, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if it helps at all, but when when Daniel and I were together, this is the house I bought after the accident payout that the government offered. This isn't the house he and I lived in, so if you're looking for anything he might have left behind, um, I've gone through his things, and there's nothing related to his business. But
Where did you all live before this?
still Billings, but it's over. 1 second. 19099 Pulaski Street. It's not too far from here.
That's where we
Excellent.
should go.
Thank you so much. You've been a major help. Malcolm, I hope you have a great day at work today. Thank you both. I'm going to still make sure that there's at least a squad car out here, just keeping an eye on the place. But thank you again for your assistance.
Of course.
And I will finish my coffee and take my leave.
Okay.
I would like to. So we had a police escort, right? So we've got some sort of local law enforcement contact.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to request that there be an officer positioned at this location with a UVB flashlight, if at all possible.
Yeah, if you're talking to like the chief, he's like, all right, yeah, we can make sure he has that fancy flashlight.
Perfect. Just keep him positioned here, and if he sees anything, have him reach out to one of the four of us, and I'll give him all of our phone numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything we can do to help.
I think Michael, when he sees them start to leave, like if when he finds out that they're going to work, I think he's going to come out of the car and be like, I don't mean to scare y'all. Major Michael Mitterwald. I think if you have any sick days built up, maybe you should take them today and stay home for your own safety, just in case. Precaution, probably overabundance of caution, but just in case, I think you and your son should call in sick today.
Let me
take it easy.
Michael, if I could just talk to you for a moment.
Yeah, okay.
I'll pull Michael aside. It's like, when this man died, his son was in utero. He's going to have no idea where his son goes to work or anything like that. Let him get out of the house so he's not here when Daniel shows up, if he does at all. I think it better he be gone from the residence. Both of them, really.
We don't know how this thing works, how it operates on a genetic cellular level, for all I know. I have no idea.
There's no way it's going to have enough information to know where these two go to work. That's all I'm saying, is get them away from where the only place he might know to go.
Well, this isn't even that place, is it?
No, it's not. But nevertheless, keeping them cooped up here is probably not for the best.
All right. If you insist. But if they die, the blood's on your hands.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
So cavalier.
Perfect. Yeah, so you guys heading over to the other house?
Yes.
Sweet. So at this point, like, again, it's probably like getting to noon. You had left Seattle around 2 a.m. So yeah, it's probably moving onwards of like late morning. And yeah, you get there, you can see a for sale sign out on the lawn.
Oh.
Can I check Zillow to see when the last time this house changed hands was?
Yeah, sure.
Zillow.
Look, it looks like a property agency currently owns it.
Okay.
They bought it about like 2 or 3 years ago, and it hasn't sold since then.
Okay. Were there any transactions prior to that?
Yeah, it looks like when she sold it initially in like 90, 93, 94.
Okay.
And then it was owned by one person for a while, and then they sold it in like 2019.
Okay. Well, what do we want to do?
Stake out.
Want to investigate the interior of the premises?
I mean,
Yeah, we should-
we could.
I'm
We
happy
should
to
clear
call
the house.
for a warrant to get.
We could stake out from inside the house. So, is there like is there a realtor's box or something with a key? Or could we call the property agency and get the key?
Yeah, you see that there's like the box outside the front door, keys.
Sweet. Can I attempt to get into it?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what I would
You
need
wanna-
to check for that.
So, do you have lockpicking as a craft or locksmithing as a craft? And you're gonna have to break that lock.
Great.
That would be a strength times 5.
Can I pick up? Is there a rock anywhere nearby
Yeah.
that I could use to? Will that gain me anything on the roll at all?
No.
Okay. Someone else try. Here's a rock.
Probably not the doctor. He's,
I mean, I
not,
can-
very,
I can
not
maybe
particularly
don't
strong.
Mess up your hands.
I can think of one person who probably should try.
Ooh.
The Green Beret? Oh.
The door kicker?
I think Marco would actually like do a walk around the perimeter, see if there's maybe any open windows. Back door might not be locked.
Because that won't look suspicious. Oh, I
Key
mean,
under a rock.
if the door is open, great.
But yeah, we haven't even tried the door yet.
It's owned by a property agency. I just assume they keep it locked because that's how these things work.
Yeah, if you try the door, it is locked. And like going around checking windows and stuff, everything seems secure. Everything's locked up.
Well,
Again,
Marco would
I could-
offer to shoot it.
Shoot the lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Roll
Loud,
firearms.
but
No, if we're he would have meant that in jest. If we're breaking in, he'd go around to the back door and do the old, boot to the door plate.
Well, see,
Fine.
the reason I was thinking perhaps we could bust into this box instead is that then from the outside, no one would see anything amiss, like a broken window or a kicked-in door or anything like that, to tip them off that people are inside that shouldn't be. Whereas this box, if it's beat up, we just take it inside with us when we unlock the door.
All right. He'll give it a try. We'll see what he can do.
Hey, go.
All right. Strength
I
times
got
5.
91 over 65.
Ah, well, I tried.
So as you kind of like, how do you imagine you were trying to open it or trying to like break the lock?
Maybe he'd be kind of trying to torque it. Is it attached to the doorknob or the door handle or something?
Yeah.
So he'd be kind of like trying to twist it and torque it to like snap it off.
Sweet. So kind of as you do that, you can feel like the box just like rack and break in a way that you have not gotten into it, but now it's very obvious it's been fucked with.
Yeah.
Want to try
We-
hitting it with the butt of your gun? Now that it's cracked, maybe it'll come off a second time.
We could go through official agencies for this. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes, but then they'll want us to leave again. We need to stay.
I mean, we've got an in with the local law enforcement as long as we can get a warrant allowing us to search the premises and stake it out. I'm sure it won't be an issue.
Why aren't you on the phone with the judge then?
Well, because there was other people talking.
While
It's
while
your-
while this is going on, Michael's gonna give it a shot. He's got a little knife.
Great.
And tell me rules. I don't know.
Okay.
If he's like trying to like use the knife to like finesse it,
Okay.
could I do like dexterity or something like that? Maybe
I'll
that's
give you
more of a
dex.
D&D thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It definitely is, but let's do it. Why not?
Okay.
I did.
I mean,
roll,
I could do melee weapons. No, that's
I did roll a
really bad.
52 under 70 on bureaucracy.
Perfect. So our backup plan of legal means is there.
But also, like, what information did you give a judge that made him say, "Okay, here is a warrant"?
They're like, FBI wants it. And they're like, okay.
Okay.
I mean, okay, I can make up something on the spot if you give me a second, but
So what'd you get, Colin?
Failure.
Sweet.
So we're not
This
getting
lock
this
This
out
lock is really tough.
Yeah, you feel your knife like chip in the lock, and you're like,
Michael makes note of like what type of lock this is, and he goes, "I gotta buy a lot of these locks. I don't remember what kind of lock this is.
this is the way of the future.
This is a good lock."
Yeah,
See,
I mean,
this
like-
property management company is not messing around, man.
Yeah, the judge approves the warrant. Under whatever bullshit you came up with.
Or you could just call the property agency and convince them that you have one, even if you don't.
you know what? I get one, and so I don't have to lie to them. And I can be
Alright.
like, "Look, you
I
need to let us
respect that.
in. We're investigating an incident of bioterrorism, and we need access to this property."
Yeah, probably within like 2 hours, the property management shows up with keys and
I
everything.
would hope that with the FBI saying we have a warrant, it would be a little faster than 2 hours.
Listen,
But
they're
you
not
know-
local. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Or they could just give us the code to the lockbox.
They're like, no. Well, you've broken the box so much.
They don't know that.
Yeah, they're like, of course, just enter this code. And you're like, yeah, we need keys.
Looks like some hooligans have been here.
Some
Like that when we
dastardly
got here.
children.
You know, no one's gonna actually have keys. It's gonna be a whole thing. No. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. 2
But
hours.
yeah, eventually you guys get access to the building. It looks like at one point it was staged with fake furniture, but it looks like that's been moved at some point. So it's pretty barren on the inside. But yeah, you walk through and you check it out, and it looks like an undisturbed, just empty house.
Okay. There's no, I mean, making like keen observations. There's no indication that anyone's been here or anything of that nature.
You wouldn't think so.
Certainly no sentient goop.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we just stake out, huh?
Sweet.
Plan.
Speaking of steaks, anybody hungry? I'm gonna go pick up some lunch.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Sure.
awesome.
Chili's.
What
Tacos
is
for me.
that?
Oh, my baby back ribs. Okay.
What is this place you speak of?
What is
Never been to a Chili's.
So
Never
who
in
takes
my
first
life.
watch?
Michael is gonna go pick up food, whatever they agree on, and he's going to go. No, I guess he didn't find out. I think he wants to go see where he wants to go check on the at least the son to make sure he is okay at work. Maybe he like overheard where he was going
Yeah,
at work.
It's also not too. He owns a used car lot. So
Okay. So just pick up
That's a-
lunch and then just
That's an
drive
easy
by
Google
and
search.
make sure that they're good.
Yeah, you do drive by. You can see him like talking to a couple people in front of a car, but everything seems mostly fine.
Then he picks up a big old bag of chilies and heads back to the house.
Nice. Yeah. So who's first watch after a tasty Chili's lunch?
I'll take the first watch.
Okay, perfect. Roll alertness for me.
I'm not good at anything, guys.
And this is night now. It's night.
No, it's still during the day.
Ooh. That's a 14 under 20.
Perfect. So it's probably after a while of sitting there, but as like everyone else is sleeping and you're running out of things to keep your attention, outside of just watching this house. But you do notice a car that has like a pretty intense crack in the windshield that's parked down the street from where you're at.
Okay. Anything else look off about the car? Is it new? Has it been here the whole time?
It's been here since you got here, but it's something that like you wouldn't have paid too much attention to until you're like really taking the time to sit here.
Gotcha. So just file that fact away for later.
Yeah, and it's not a great parking job. Who has second watch?
Marco takes second watch.
Yeah,
Sure.
Marco.
If you
27
see
under
around
70.
that car down there, just saying, it looks out of place. Like maybe somebody was driving up here in a hurry.
Who can say? So that was 27 under 70?
Yep.
Perfect. So you're kind of watching probably as like things are turning from like day into evening. And just as you're kind of sitting there, taking it in, you do notice that you don't hear any wildlife. You don't hear any birds.
Darn it.
Not good. Not good.
Everybody wake the fuck up.
I was gonna say, and it's hitting nighttime. Is anybody gonna watch, or you all kind of gonna stay awake since it's night?
I think when it gets dark, Michael's gonna start doing just like walking laps, like around the house, like around the area. Like I think he's like, rather than wait inside, want to see it like approaching.
Well, do we want to be that conspicuous though to scare it off? If this is where we think we need to trap him, right? So we don't necessarily want him to know that we're patrolling the area.
I think he's the idea is he's trying to be like, like I can roll for it for sure, but like stealthily kind of like go around and
okay. So in the
as I look at my stealth score.
So you're not like waving your UVB flashlight everywhere.
No, not on. Just kind of like under cover of darkness, like
Gotcha.
just kind of like slowly kind of like go around like
prowling
the area.
Yeah, patrolling.
All right, so
Because there's probably wouldn't be a lot of traffic in this area.
one thing,
No, it's pretty dead.
Unfamiliarity with the game. The amount of rest and whatnot that we got, does that restore any hit points or anything of that nature?
I don't think you spent any willpower, did you? I don't think anyone's really dealt with willpower.
No.
Yeah, so nope.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
Good to know. That's a mechanic I'm not 100% clear on, so that's all.
Yeah.
Is there a way to regain hit points?
Yeah, so like I think the biggest thing is like you need like a longer period of rest.
Got it.
Full night's sleep.
You need like a full night's sleep, and I think like I would say that sleeping in the car would restore like any willpower you lost, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like restful enough to actually heal you up.
That's fair.
Got it. Okay.
So we've got Michael kind of stealthily patrolling around the house. What are the rest of you guys up to?
Marco, I think, would be donning those night vision goggles that were supplied and staying inside the house, but trying to scan outside, and also maybe going the opposite direction of the major around the house, checking for the outside with the night vision.
Yeah, Michael, are you wearing any night vision gear or no?
Yeah, there's enough. There's enough.
Yeah,
for
there's
everybody.
enough for all of you. Lucas, what are you up to?
Lucas is gonna be just hanging out in. Lucas had a very bad experience with this thing, or the offspring of this thing from before, and is kind of just gonna hang out in the car, keeping an eye on the front door.
Okay. Safi?
Okay, I guess I will watch from inside the house then, and sort of counter if someone is near, or if she if someone else comes inside, if the major's going in and out, or not the major, if Marco's going in and out, then she'll just kind of counter whatever side of the house he's not on at the time, and just kind of move back and forth from window to window with her night vision.
Something we
Yeah.
didn't talk about previously, and I'm hoping I can kind of retcon, is that we were able to obtain some sort of like radio equipment that we could have direct communication with each other, like through like earpieces or something, and not having to call on
Yeah.
cell phones. Okay,
Yeah. I would say
Perfect.
I hand wave it. You have it.
perfect.
So, Michael, can you give me an alertness check?
Yes. 49 over 40.
Okay. You're pacing behind the house, and like there's a second where you're like, and then no, and you kind of keep walking.
Mm.
Safi, you want to give me an alertness check?
Do I?
Boy,
That's
do
a
I.
96.
So you're kind of like, I imagine you like in there at the counter. Again, it's like this nervous waiting where you're just kind of like, just like tapping. And you probably maybe get this like moment of like tunnel vision where you're like not checking your surroundings as much as you probably should be, because you're just like lasered in on like being ready for whatever's about to happen. Marco, give me an alertness check.
It's a 65 under 70.
Perfect. So as you are kind of like walking around, you can see like Michael kind of like standing still for a moment, maybe even like looking at his phone for a second. Just a quick like check, nothing like, not like standing there like, are you okay? I love you. But in this moment of standing still, you see this thing like slowly like rising up right behind him. And as it kind of like starts to like hulk up behind him, you can see that it's towering above Michael. This thing's probably nearly 7 foot tall, maybe a little taller. And you see what looks like, from, if you didn't have these goggles on, it would almost look like branches kind of coming off of it. But since you do, you see just, it's this amalgam of limbs and arms, and you can see what looks like a face like stretched out, looking down at Michael.
So Marco would immediately turn on the flashlight and just shine it directly at the thing and be like, Major, to me, to me, to me.
Perfect. As you do that, or before you do that, let's have you do a quick sanity check.
All right. I've got 31 under 74.
Perfect. Take 1 point of sanity.
These things are scary.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And as soon as you turn on that light, you see this thing just try to collapse and envelop Michael. And Michael, you do not get a dodge check, as you did not pass your alertness.
Okay.
This is how I kill you. Bomb. Bomb. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Michael, take 4 points of damage.
Oof.
As you
Okay.
feel like these limbs just like grabbing around you and like it almost feels like this, like it feels like it's a crowd of like multiple people, and it's like just tearing at your clothes and like trying to like rip at you. And make a Constitution check for me.
Okay. Fail. 84 over 65.
Fuck yes, I've been waiting for this entire time. Okay. Oh, Michael.
Oh no.
And you said again this was a very localized attack, like on a very specific, like a limb of my body and not my entire body.
It's your torso that it's
Oh,
like
okay.
Don't worry, just your torso.
He did say envelop.
Yeah.
And so this is how I imagine it. You feel like these fingernails scraping into you,
Ew.
and the second you feel like skin rip to any extent, you feel something like break off and start to crawl inside of you.
Ooh.
And Michael, you're going to take 6 points of Constitution damage.
6 points of Constitution. Oh my god.
And what is the difference? What does that mean that he's taking damage to his Constitution?
So this is damage straight up to his attribute.
Okay, so the score times 5 takes that amount of damage?
Nope, the score.
The
before
score
the time.
itself. Shit.
Yep. Oh yeah. So Marco, go ahead and roll your d6 of light damage.
Boy.
5.
Sweet. Yeah, you can feel it, like you can see it like sizzling a little bit, but it is like ripping into Michael right in front of you. Might be a time to radio.
Do I have like the wherewithal or like a moment to use my flashlight as well, or am I just like being ravaged?
You're getting ravaged right now, but you did remind me that you should make a sanity check.
Great.
How kind.
72 over 49.
Nice. So at least
Michael,
there's that.
This is all over for you, my man.
No.
Yeah, holy shit. You take 7 points of sanity damage.
7.
So here's a fun thing about Delta Green. When you take over, I think it's over 3 or over 4 points of sanity, you get something triggered, where it's essentially your fight or flight. So, Colin, what is Michael's immediate response as something just snaps mentally for him?
I might do a luck roll, because I don't think he would know, really.
Yeah.
Also, he went well past his breaking point, so when this is over, he will have, if he survives, he will have developed quite a mental disorder.
Oh yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna do like 1 through 50 fight, 5100 flee.
Okay.
33.
Okay.
So he's gonna fight.
All right.
You gotta be around for your new bestie recruit.
Oh
He's got a lot he thinks he needs to live for.
And the child that isn't yours that you want to help raise.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what
So
he's
many
thinking about
reasons
as
to
he's getting attacked. He thinks about that, and he thinks about this little bell pepper, and he kind of picks up his flashlight and tries to like roll over so he can shine this flashlight on this creature.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say that you're able to, with the fact that you are just like throwing caution to the wind trying to attack this thing. Go ahead and roll your d6 of light damage.
Okay. 3.
3. All right. Lucas and Safi, what's so first of all, Marco, what's the move as you were originally calling out for him to get away from there, but now you can see that he definitely can't.
He's a good enough shot that he'd be trying to shoot it off him.
Okay.
And figure Sophie's going to hear the shots anyway, so
Yeah.
time to do some damage. Flashlight's
Do it.
still, on it under the gun. I've got 15 under 80.
Very
Okay.
nice.
So since you've already hit it with light, you're not going to get an additional light damage right now.
Okay.
This is applied every minute that it's light.
Oh, I got a 10.
Hell yeah. Yeah, as you fire into it, and Michael, you probably hear it like this fleshy hit into this thing right above you.
Uh-huh.
And you can hear almost 3 mouths open up as it's groaning out in pain. So Safi, you heard that shot and you're in there, so you just turn around and you can see out the back window to what's happening.
Okay. I would assume that I would have opened the window if I could to be prepared to shoot out of it if necessary. Is that fair to assume?
I would agree with that.
Okay. So, I am not a great shot, but I'm gonna, it looks like Michael's basically a goner anyway, so I'm gonna risk it. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. I was gonna say, before you fire, let's do a quick sanity check.
Okay, I can do that instead. Where am I at? That's a 36 under a 58.
Perfect. Take 1 point.
One more point. Oh boy. Okay.
Take the shot.
That's a 25 over a 23.
Oh, so
God.
close.
Well, you don't hit Michael, which is what the real.
Yay!
Perfect. Lucas.
So I presume I hear the gunshots at the bare
Yeah.
minimum. All right.
You can't see anything because this is happening behind the house.
Okay. What was Uli's military rank at time of death?
I believe he's a lieutenant.
Okay. I will charge towards the gunshots, and without looking necessarily in the direction of what's over there, I will shout out, "Lieutenant Uli, stand down! We're here to help."
Okay. Yeah. So you come charging right around the house, and as soon as you say Uli, you see this thing just let go completely of Michael. And you see its hulking body kind of start to crane over towards you. And you see these vacant eyes and this open mouth, almost like it's it's trying to talk in some way, but it's looking directly at you. And roll sanity for me really quick.
That was tempting not to look at it. That is a 52 under 59.
Perfect. Take 1 point.
Is that perfect? Is it perfect to take 1 point of sanity damage?
That's as good as it gets right now.
Right. So, question about sanity damage. Is there any roll that would keep you from taking any sanity damage, or is it anytime you make a sanity roll, even if it's successful, you're going to take at least 1 point?
So that's a great question. So the way that works is depending on the threat that you're facing. Essentially, the way the game works is it gives you 2 numbers, and there's 1 number for a success and 1 number for a failure. So a success sometimes means that you get no sanity damage. So that would be something like getting into a firefight or something like that. If your character's not accustomed to violence or adapted to violence. If you pass that, you don't take any sanity damage. But if you, what's the word? For some usually unnatural threats and things like that, you're going to take sanity damage regardless.
Okay.
So think of it as literally in this game, if you saw Cthulhu, A success means you're still taking 1d20 sanity damage.
Oh dear God. Okay, fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, I just was curious. Okay, he stops and starts talking, and I don't point the flashlight at him. I hold my hands up, my gun and my flashlight. I'm still holding him, but I'm holding him up and say, Uli, we know what you've been through. We're here to try and help, but you have to stop.
I mean, like, it's frozen. You see it like just standing there staring at you. Michael, you've just been let go of, and you can feel like something like crawling around inside of you as this constitution damage takes its toll. But what's the move here as you see it just stop and stare at Lucas?
I don't think he's had time to like logically think about his injuries and what it means and all that stuff. So I think he's just he's still got his flashlight out and shown at this creature, but he's trying to back away. He's trying to push himself back away from this creature.
Okay. What's Marco, Safi? What are you guys thinking as you see this?
If there's an option for another shot, I think Marco's going to keep shooting.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does a flashlight damage? Do I do more flashlight damage this round?
I was gonna say, I think Safi is gonna try to join the party with flashlight damage.
Yeah, you can turn that flashlight on, and roll. Go ahead and roll a d6, Safi.
I missed this
3.
time. 85 over 80.
85 over 80. Dang. And 3, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. If I'm able to still do it.
Yeah, your guys' lights are still on them, and essentially, like, you can see like this thing, like it's kind of like its eyes are still on Lucas, but you can see like its like body kind of starting to react to these lights, and like you can see like the two like arms that are closest to the head are almost like just like beating in on its head like it's frustrated. And all of you who have flashlights, go ahead and roll a d20 of damage.
Man.
Ooh.
You know it's gonna reach out to me now, right?
I got
14.
6.
6.
I'm very
14.
far away.
Okay. Yeah. And
9.
Marco?
9.
Perfect. So you see like these pieces of it like starting to like fall off and crack and fall away. And like as it's like kind of like crumbling slightly, it's like it looks in like Lucas, it's this haunting moment of it just looks sad. Like it looks horrified. And it's in pain, and it's like it's looking to you like you can offer it something.
I will say, Isabella and Marco survived, or Malcolm. No, not Marco. Malcolm survived. They are healthy. They are well. They miss you, but they're okay.
And as you say like those names, you can see like these like streaks of like blue liquid coming from its eyes as it just like screams out in this like agonized pain as you see it just crumble into itself.
Oh, that's almost sweet.
And as the four of you are kind of there just watching this and just kind of reeling in all this information, camera just slowly pulls away.
Wait, I think just before.
Yeah.
I think as soon as this happens, like, there's like a second of like just watching it, and then he starts, helpful or not, whether he doesn't know what any of this does, but he's gonna start like shining this flashlight on his wounds. Michael is.
Yeah, and as you do, you can feel like your insides like burning. Yeah, and the camera pulls away, and pulls up and into the night as you guys have eliminated the threat.
Yay!
Wow.
And that's Viscid, baby.
And
Wow.
Michael's high school sweetheart will finally come visit him in the hospital to say goodbye forever.
Ooh, that was rough.
Oh,
yeah. Delta Green.
Oh man,
Hell yeah.
if we were gonna keep going with these characters, that would be some serious psychological damage for Lucas.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite part, is how the shit carries over into the next case. And
Yeah.
just slowly wears down your character.
I think I'd be there. I think I'd be like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yep.
great. Thank you, Keaton.
Yes.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
I'm glad you did.
I'm still processing. I'm going to keep processing for a minute. But in the meantime, thanks everybody for joining us. This has been track 2 of Tabletop Turntable, Delta Green. We hope you had fun, is maybe the right word. We hope you learned a lot, and that if you're interested in playing, you go check out this game. We will be back in 2 weeks for the start of track 3, which means brand new players and a brand new game, Wanderhome. Yay! So in case you're needing a little bit of a wholesome break from all the trauma, we have that coming for you. But in between then and now, we will have a special level up presentation of Stars and Wishes, which we record after every live session, and make that available on our Patreon for Patreon members. But since it's our last wrap up, we did try to do this with track 1, and unfortunately, the audio file was no good, so I'm sorry that you didn't get that one, but you're gonna get this one. Everybody's gonna have access to our final session of Stars and Wishes for track 2. That'll premiere live on YouTube next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then coming up this Friday, we have another live taping of Essentia, so be back for that. And I think that's everything. James, is that everything?
Yeah, if you're interested in learning more about Delta Green, it looks like you can go to delta-green.com where you'll find more information about Delta Green. As Meg said, we're going to be back with a new episode of Tabletop Turntable in 2 weeks. We've got some live tapings of Essentia. I want to turn it over to Sero, Colin, and Keaton. Is there anything you guys want to tell our audience before we sign off on Delta Green?
Always carry a UVB flashlight.
Obviously. We learned that that's very important.
Super important.
Well, we want to thank Colin and Sero and Keaton for being here with us for track 2. It's been a pleasure being at the table with you guys. And for everyone out there, we'll see you next time. Never stop playing. Good night.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.